Okay, dear students, dear guests and colleagues, I'm happy to welcome you today to the open lecture of Professor Edward Gherhard. He's our guest lecturer, and I will say a few words about him because this afternoon you will have the pleasure to enjoy his two lectures. Professor Edward Gherhard is a lecturer in business informatics and business administration, and also he's the international representative of the Faculty of Economics of Coburg University of Applied Sciences in Germany. Some words about him. He's head of SAP laboratories in Coburg University, and since 2010 he was appointed professor for business informatics at the University of Coburg. He was also international he gave international advice on the introduction and analysis of productive SAP and ERP systems. His dissertation is on strategic control of public administration through intelligent and integrated e-collection of performance and impact data. He was chair of business administration and business informatics. And also in the years before that, he studied business administration at the University of Würzburg. He was also research assistant at the chair for business administration and business informatics in Würzburg. And we are very happy also to announce today the beginning of our partnership with Coburg University, a partnership which will develop in the years ahead, and we will provide the students of WUSFA with the opportunity to study in Coburg and also online to attend online courses, that is travel to Coburg and also stay here in Bulgaria and be educated in both our university and Coburg University. But this is something Professor Gherhard will explain in detail. In the beginning, before he starts his two very interesting topics, one of them is management of international projects, a very important topic for the future, and especially in terms of digitalization and the introduction of artificial intelligence. And also the next topic is visualization of business data for taking decisions, for decision making. And more about that you will hear later on. So I give you the floor, Professor Gherhard. I will be here, and I suggest that we go like this. Professor Edward Gherhard will explain about the University of Coburg. If you have any questions, you can ask, and then we start the lectures, and then if you have questions, we can have a wrap-up discussion at the end. Okay, thank you. And the floor is yours.
Yeah, for the nice words. Yeah, this is my question. Let me introduce myself. Yeah, I came from Coburg. I think not everybody knows where Coburg is. Yeah, it's a little city. Let me show it a little bit on the map. It's a map of Germany. Yeah. And maybe you know the most important airport in Europe. Yeah, it's Frankfurt, and Coburg is not far from Frankfurt. It's located in Bavaria. This is the state of Bavaria, and we are in the northern part of Bavaria. Yeah, it's a little city, about 50,000 inhabitants, 55,000. Yeah, nothing to compare with Sofia. Yeah, it's much bigger. And when you come to Coburg, you may make a very important finding that Coburg is a kind of museum, yeah, under fresh air. Everything is well conserved, yeah, very narrow streets, nice buildings, yeah. So we are located in the northern part of Bavaria. The next biggest city close to us, it's in Nuremberg. It's got an airport, so when you fly from Sofia, you can travel to two airports, Frankfurt, Nuremberg or Frankfurt. Yeah. So, and in Bavaria there are 12 different universities, and one of them is the University of Applied Sciences. That means the main topic of our university is how to teach students to apply the science. Yeah, this is a very important issue. What I noticed in the past 10 years, that the students are very good add repetition of knowledge. When I ask them, please explain how to do this, they're going to explain it to me very perfectly. When I ask them, please apply this, yeah, here we have got a lot of hurdles, a lot of obstacles which we need to overcome also in our education. Yeah? So, what is University of Coburg? You see some nice pictures. Yeah, this is our castle. Yeah, it's located on the hill. Yeah, the Martin Luther. I don't know. Maybe you know him. The guy who splitted the Catholic Church from Protestant Church. He hid himself on that castle. Yeah. From the Catholic bishops from Vatican, yeah. This is our marketplace, yeah. This is the city hall, yeah. I walked today to the city hall of Sofia. It was much more impressive, yeah. Many stories, and here I've got only 4 stories, yeah. That's enough, yeah. This is what our design students did, yeah. Our university is actually University of Applied Sciences and Art, yeah. So that's art is very important for us, yeah, and that's what our design students did, yeah. So the Coburg University is quite old. Was founded in 1814, yeah, and now we've got about 5,500 students, about 150 different professors and many different faculties. Here you see all the faculties which you can study at our university, and we offer different programs like bachelor program, master program, MBA program, English speaking programs, German speaking programs, and so on and so on. And what we did actually, we signed an agreement with your university, yeah. That means from the next semester, from the winter semester which comes, you can come to us, yeah. Your students and also your professors can come to us and spend a couple of days, couple of weeks, maybe a month at our university. So how you can come to us, yeah. We have signed so-called Erasmus Plus program. That means this program is funded by European Union, yeah. So and we are part of this program, and I welcome your students. I just ask them, yeah, please spend 1 semester at our university. You may ask, oh, we don't speak German, how we can study there? Don't be afraid, yeah, we offer English speaking classes, yeah, and you can fulfill all your requirements. We offer every semester 35 European credit points of English speaking classes. So I think that will not be a big issue to fulfill the requirements, yeah. So that means you come to us, we're gonna take care of you. Our international office usually picks you up from the railway station, yeah. Then you get a flat in our dormitory, so don't be afraid. You don't need to sleep under the bridge, yeah. You're gonna get a flat in our dormitory, and in the dormitory there are many other students from other countries, yeah. It's quite international. So that means when you come to us, you're gonna improve your English skills. It's very important, and you're also gonna learn a little bit German. Yeah, so usually students, when they come to us, they visit German classes and they speak all the time English. You get quite fluent in English, yeah, because we have got students from different countries, from Turkey, from Poland, from Portugal, from France, and so on and so on. This is one possibility. So that means this Erasmus program, you're gonna stay 1 semester in our in Coburg, yeah. You can travel a little bit now. In Germany, we have implemented so-called 49 tickets. That means you buy 49 tickets and you can travel around Germany the whole month. Yeah, so you can use these tickets to go to Nuremberg, to go to Munich, or to go to Berlin, and that's only 49 euro, which is quite cheap, yeah, and you can also participate in this. So the next one, possibility to participate in our cooperation, it's the second one, we call it digital participation. So that means we offer 2 classes which are run as a hybrid class. That means students who are in Coburg, yeah, they can participate in this class physically, that means on-site, and you can participate in this class online. So that means you're gonna switch on into our virtual classroom, yeah, And these are three different classes which we offer. The first one is a project. That means you're going to work with other students on a project basis. We're going to meet every 2 weeks, to discuss open issues. Then you're going to get some task which you need to solve, and you usually work as a tandem with another student who doesn't speak Bulgarian. So that means you are forced to speak English all the time. The next one is a seminar. That means you get a topic, and by the end of months you need to provide a term paper of 20 pages. You need to provide table of content at the beginning, then the 5-minute speech, then the oral presentation, which lasts for 30-35 minutes, and at the end then the 20-25 pages assignment, which is gonna graded by our professors, and these grades can be credited maybe at also your university. The next possibility is a virtual classes, virtual classes. So we have got the Virtual University of Bavaria, where you can visit any purely online class. These classes are asynchronous. It means you can participate in those classes when you have time. It doesn't matter. The classes are not synchronous. So this is the third way of participation. And the second way of participation is a so-called international micro projects. So that's we plan to start also in the next semester. That means 7 students from German side, 7 students from Bulgarian side, gonna work 2 semesters together. So we start in winter. So in the first half of the project, you work also as a tandem on a task. Then we will come to Sofia in winter semester. We're gonna stay here 1 week to work on site, and then in the rest of semester the project gonna be complete by you. And in the next semester, we flip it upside down. That means you're gonna be the leaders, and you're gonna visit us, in Coburg, and you're gonna stay there for 7 days, for 10 days. We usually rent flat for our students. This is funded by my university. And students, they cook together and so on and so on. It's kind of fun. And at the end, they are actually friends. This is what we should do to bring young people together in order to avoid any misunderstandings in the future. This is our obligation as professors. That's what we should do. So, and the final one is a double degree. It's still under construction. This is our plan to set up a double degree. That means studying here. You can also participate in online classes at my university. At the end of the study, you're gonna get 2 diplomas, the Bulgarian diploma and the German diploma. And I think it's the best way for young European citizens, then you are real European citizens with 2 diploma, then you can apply for jobs in Germany. I invite you. We are searching for many employees, and I hope you'll come to us, but Bulgarian companies hope you're gonna stay here. That's your decision then later, Okay, guys, this is a short introduction. Please feel free to interrupt me, and if you have any questions, feel free. If you
do you want to ask any questions about the cooperation?
Don't be afraid.
Any questions that you want to ask?
Professors, okay. This is professors are integrated in the third way of participation. Usually the 7 students from Germany are accompanied by a German professor. Sometimes that's me, sometimes that's another professor, and Bulgarian students are accompanied by you, or supervised by a professor from your university. That means you're gonna come with students also to us, And when you are at our university, I will be in charge of you. And I will ask you, please, can you deliver a lecture at our university? And it's kind of mobility, staff mobility program, which is also funded by European Community. So this is, I think, is a very good starting point, to intensify the cooperation, And at the end, I think our young students gonna be make a lot of profit out of it. It's very beneficial for them, Okay. Any questions? Julia is in charge of it. Yeah.
Maybe you can tell them about the field of study. The bachelor degree in business administration. That it is a broad scope field of study.
The bachelor degree, it's not focused like at your university. At your university, it's a focus on finance and insurance. We also offer insurance focus, but our bachelor degree is quite open. Yeah, we cover many different focuses like marketing and sales, finance and controlling, HR, production, and business informatics. What is actually my field? I'm responsible for business informatics. Yeah. So, okay, so far, if you don't have any questions, let's come to data visualization. So, I am a professor for business informatics, and data is the natural resources of our 22nd century. Yeah, we have got a lot of data. Yeah, but that's not enough. We need to retrieve knowledge out of those data. This is a very famous slide. Yeah, it's a very famous slide which was presented in 2012. Yeah, when the Bush administration was kicked out of the office. Yeah, and the next administration tried to frighten the Americans, and they said when by the end of 2012 the tax relief gonna expire, and the taxes will jump from this column to that one, and the gap is enormous. Yeah, from 35 points to 38. Yeah, and what they did, they wanted actually cheat on you. Yeah, what they should present it. Yeah, they should present the ground line, the zero line. And this was just abolished. Yeah, that was not there. Look at this slide. So now, what they did. They presented that one. The gap is enormous, 35 to 39%. You are getting frightened. But when you look at that slide, it's not so frightening. Yeah? This is how you are manipulated by different presentation of data. Yeah? The data are the same, 35 and 39%. But what they did, they eliminated the ground line, because they wanted to cheat on you, And that's what usually happens, when you are presenting data. So, and what we should take into consideration, we should present data in the way human beings understand them, And we are human beings, and we use our eyes to retrieve the data. And there are some biological limitations. There are some biological limitations. That means data visualization, this is the explanation, It's actually transformation of data in pictures, In pictures, and the transformation should be done that way, so the human beings understand them, And eyes is the best organ which we use to retrieve data. So what kind of biological limitations we have? It's so-called iconic memory. So we are able to store information for only 3 seconds in our iconic memory. After 3 seconds, the information moves to another part of our brain. 3 seconds, it's a biological limitation. Let me show it to you. So this is an international bank accounting number. It's got many figures. So 1, 2, 3. Can you remember it? No, because this long data set does not fit in your brain. It's the problem. So, but when I present it that way, 1, 2, 3, can you remember it? It works. Because I presented the data in a way human beings understand You can remember it. It fits in your iconic memory. When it fits inside, you move it successfully to another part of the brain. So that's how we should present international bank accounting now. We should always put it separate between the data set in order to fit the data in our iconic memory. When I get an invoice, yeah, with that way of presentation, yeah, forward, that one. And I type it into the our online formula, I get at least $1, $2. And it takes a lot of time. It's not a good way of data presentation. So, the next one. This is a data presentation which we primarily use today. We call it a table or a grid. Yeah. So the data are presented as a grid. There are stocks. Yeah. So in the first column, yeah, you see the stock number in the first column. Then you see a couple of days. There are 24 days. Yeah. Then there are stock prices, share prices for 24 days for 25 stocks. There are 25 stocks and 24 days. And now I'm going to ask you, can you show me a share which has increased its prices over the last 24 days? You cannot see. Can you find a share? No. Now I'm going to transform this way of data presentation to another one. I use picture. Here we've got 25 shares in each column. Yeah, that means each column represents 25 shares. Yeah. And each cell represents one share. In total, we've got 100 shares. 4 times more than the previous. So, bright colors represent lower share prices and high share prices, and dark colors represent low share. Can you find now a share which has increased over time? These now are looking for cells which have in dark colors and at the end high. Can you find one? Yeah. So, I give you that one, yeah. That one, yeah. You will got, yeah. So most of shares have that increasing. The next question. Can you find a share which is got the peak in the middle of period? That means we are looking for shares with dark colors at the beginning, bright colors in the middle, and again dark colors at the end. Can you find it? Can you tell me in which column? Yeah, go ahead. I don't see. Yeah, the third of the last. Foreign share and writing the foreign share, and you make in that one. Dark colors, high colors, dark colors. So, now we see we change the way of data presentation, and finally we understand data better. Yeah. This is the challenge which we need to overcome. So another way of data presentation. Now we've got here actually 2 tables. This is the first table, the second table. We've got 3 key performance indicators. The first one is annual income, yeah, and then what you spend for used cars and what you spend for new cars. So this, the first cell, you earn 751 euro annual income, and you spend 1,000 euro for used cars, and you spend 9,000 euro for new cars. Do you find any dependency between annual income and spending on new cars and spending on old cards, used cards. Do you find here any dependency? In the computer markets, there's a dependency. It means the more you earn, the more you spend for used cars. This dependency is not valid for new cars. It's amazing, yeah? When I do present data in that way, you don't find any dependency. And I use the same data and change the way of presentation. And finally, we have found some dependency, only for used cars and not for new cars. So that's why it's very important to pay attention to the way of data presentation. It is not important what you see. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in the next step. It's important what is understood. I hope you understand what I and what we charge of it. So we need to do everything in order to work on this. So, okay, now I have presented 3 different examples just to prove that the way of data presentation is very important. If you select this basic way, read table, which is used mostly, the probability is very high that you are not going to be understood. That you should have. So, what kind of problems do we have when we present data? So, there are no rules. When you have got the text, so there are some rules. The text is usually read from left side, right side, from up to down. So when you read the text, it's usually going to left side to right side. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So this is a rule. That's why when you want to place most important things, then you place them either at the end or at the beginning, but you never place them in the middle. Yeah. Primacy recency effect. Yeah. So usually memorize things which you saw first, yeah, and then you memorize things which you saw last, yeah, primacy recency effect. So when you are looking at the graph, yeah, there are no rules. You can read the graph from left side to right side, from up to down, from bottom up, and so on and so on. There are no basic rules. That's why it's so important, yeah, to understand, yeah, the data understanding. That's why it's so complicated to present data in a proper way. Yeah. So there are some basic rules how to present data. Yeah. So usually you should separate the screen or the piece of paper in 4 quadrants. Yeah. And the things with the high priority you present on the left upper side. Yeah. And in the middle. Yeah, this is how we should do it. When you create a text, yeah, you shouldn't put important things in the middle of the text. Primacy recency effect, either at the beginning or at the end, but not in the middle. It's a different way of when you present data. Yeah, this is one important thing. Yeah, please. When you present data, understand what is the most important thing about it and place it in the appropriate quadrant. So the next one, yeah, don't use 3D effects. Yeah, that's what students usually are doing. Why? 3D effects uses a lot of spaces of your paper, of your screen, and doesn't provide additional information. Yeah, it distracts the one who looks at the data. Yeah, so when you present bar charts, don't use vertical lines. It also distracts you, yeah, because there is no real separation. And in case you are using pie chart, use them only for maximum 5 pies, yeah, not for many. So in this one, you can easily understand which piece of the pie is most important, which is less important. That's why we are using these charts. And in that one, you don't really see differences because they seem quite similar. Yeah, they look quite similar. Okay, so and the last one, yeah. What I want to show you, when you present data, don't cheat on people. Please be ethic. Yeah, don't eliminate ground line. Yeah, what was done in the United States. Yeah, when the government tried to frighten the people. Yeah, and don't use curving of the graphs. Yeah, because curving like this one, it shows you that you have got the value 0 in March, in July, yeah? But when you look at that graph, you see that you are above 0, yeah? This also delivers wrong information. Please avoid those, yeah? Okay, this is what we shouldn't do. Okay, this is our basic principles of data presentation. So the next thing which we need to discuss, how to present multiple indicators, yeah? So usually at that one, yeah, he's only one indicator. But the life is changing very dramatically, yeah? We are forced to present more and more data about us. For example, the European countries, we talked today about sustainability, yeah? From 2024, European companies gonna be forced to present sustainability report. That means you're gonna get much more indicators, yeah? And when you get many different indicators on one page, you are again distracted. So we are looking now for new ways how to present multiple indicators. Look at this dashboard. This is the dashboard of modern car. So how many indicators do you see on that dashboard? So you see the speed, yeah. So then you see the tank, yeah, how much gasoline is inside. So what do you see else? You see the temperature, you see the kilometers you have driven, you see the average speed, and so on and so on. There are in total 15 different indicators which are presented to you. And I am wondering, is it good for me when I'm driving a car, or is it bad for me? Does it give me good information to drive my car perfectly, or it maybe distracts me? Look at the first car, at the T5, yeah, Ford. So, one. So, Ford. Ford has got only 3 indicators. Only 3. It's the speed, the gasoline, and the kilometers. Only 3 indicators. So, and please remember biological limitation. Our iconic memory keeps information only for 3 seconds. And these 3 information, yeah, 3 indicators, I can keep in my brain. When I can keep it, I can understand it. In that one, I have more than 3. I cannot keep them in my brain, iconic memory. That's why the probability is very high that I don't understand them. So how to change the situation? The problem is that the amount of indicators is increasing continuously. Yeah? So that means we need to work on new ways of data presentation. We need to work on new ways of presenting many different key performance indicators. For example, in the new sustainability report, which European enterprises need to provide from the next year, 24 different indicators gonna be presented. So when you look at 24 indicators, do you understand them? Can you assess the sustainability situation of the enterprise? I guess not. Yeah, this is the next problem which we need to solve. So how we can solve this problem? We need to use some new ways of presentation, graphical presentation, for example, this one. Yeah, this is a very good way of data presentation. So again, you have got three parts. Yeah, we have got the pie chart, you have got the map, and we have got the bar column. Three indicators, yeah, for the total leads. When you go to the converted leads, again, you will get 2 or 3 indicators. So we don't exceed the amount of 3 indicators. Yeah, this is a very good way of data presentation. So the best way of data presentation which I ever saw is actually 200 years old. Yeah, 200 years old. The Charles Minard, it was a bureaucrat in France, yeah, and he created, I think, the best infographic ever. Yeah, he created a graphic about Napoleon War on Russia. Yeah, look at this one. There are many indicators. So this line, yeah, this one, yeah, this is the strengths of Napoleon troops when they invaded Russia. So here you see the bar is very thick, 600 soldiers, yeah, and here you see the separation of the troops. Here you see the separation of the troops, and now you can see what happens to Napoleon army when it arrived in Moscow. Yeah, dramatic decline of soldiers. And the black one is the way back. Yeah, and when you compare the black bar and the brown bar, so you understand how dramatic the situation was. Out of 600 soldiers, only a couple of thousands arrived back. Yeah, this is the best infographic I've ever seen. Yeah, and it's 200 years old actually. Yeah, so the Charles Minard put a lot of information on that slide. There's a temperature. Here you see when the soldiers bypass the river, and you see the thickness of the bar. Yeah, is only half of it. Yeah, that means the half of the soldiers died in the river. Yeah, so this is information graph. Yeah, and now I want to show you some results of a study which we conducted in Coburg. So, when you want to assess the situation of an enterprise, usually use 3 basic indicators. This is a revenue, sales. Yeah, price multiplied by amounts of goods you sold. Yeah, then you also present some costs. Yeah, revenue minus cost is your profit. 3 basic indicators. Everybody understands it. Yeah, and in some situations, the importance of these indicators is different. So when you are new on a market and you want to penetrate the market, so then the revenue is very important. And the costs are not so important, the profit also. When you are the biggest player on the market, yeah, so you want to increase the profit. So, and the importance of those indicators, yeah, can be classified by the weight. So you see here the sales, yeah, for the first company is has got the weight of 40%. Yeah, the cost has got weight only of 20%, and the profit has got weight of only 40%. So that means for this company, cost is not so important. Yeah, they want to penetrate the market. Yeah, and here you see their target. Excuse me, the target. Yeah, here you see the target. And here also you see the actuals, yeah, the total values. So, and you see only for the cost, yeah, the target has not been is still to the target is not is arrived, yeah. So and then you see the company second, yeah, they have got different interest, yeah. So the sales 20%, yeah, cost 40%. And now my question to everybody. How are you gonna assess the situation of these 2 companies? which company has got better situation, the first one or the second one? What do you think? So, or you are in a finance department, yeah, in which company you're gonna invest money? The first one, the second one. So now it's quite difficult. You have got now many indicators. You have got actual values, you have got target values, you have got the weights of the indicators, and so on and so on. In total, you have got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 indicators. And our limitation is by 3. So now I am going to change the way of presentation. I do use so-called bullet graphs. This one is the old one, it's a grid presentation, yeah? Now I'm using the bullet graphs. So the bullet graph is a very good one. So you have got the indicator sales. This black bar shows us the target. Now I see that I did not achieve the target here. I see here also I did not achieve the target. And when I look at that one, I see that I'm very close to achieving the target. I am very close to achieving the target here, and I am quite away of achieving the target here. And now again, my question, which shares you gonna buy? The first or the second company? So what do you think? The second one, yeah, you see, okay, here the cost is very important, yeah, 40%, but I have almost achieved the target. And here sales is quite important, profit also important, but I am far away of achieving the target, yeah. So the second company has got a better financial situation, so I better invest money in the second company. So now you see, I just changed the way of presentation, and finally you understand the data better, yeah. And now I'm coming to the modern way of presentation, so-called Chernoff phases. Yeah, Chernoff phases are quite old. In 70s, American scientist has presented them. Yeah, he said, okay, we are familiar with emotions. We can easily understand, yeah, the feelings of human beings because we see all the day into human faces. Yeah, and we are very good at understanding, yeah, human faces. And the idea was, okay, I'm gonna put the one indicator on eyebrows, the other indicator on the nose, the other indicator on the mouth, the other indicator on the ears, and so on and so on. And now again, my question, which company has got a better situation here? Because the second one, the second one, it smiles a little bit. Yeah, it smiles a little bit. So, and what we did, yeah, we placed revenue, we linked revenue with the form of eyebrows, we linked the profit with the form of eyes, and we linked the expenses with the form of mouth. And finally, we get an emotion, an expression. And we are very good in understanding those. Yeah, this method was showed for the first time in 70s. Then I think 10 years, many researchers worldwide have used those Chernoff phases, have presented different abbreviations of those, yeah, and then finally we have forgotten this method, yeah. And 5 years ago, yeah, I tried to do some researches on that methods because I called on this Chernoff phases dynamic Chernoff phases, because sometimes, yeah, sometimes the importance of indicators changes, yeah. So that's why we put the revenue on the mouth and the profit on the eyebrows, yeah, and it depends of the meaning of the importance of our indicators, yeah. So that's why we have created a so-called dynamic Chernoff phases, yeah. And here you see a study, yeah. We have asked 168 probands, yeah, to value the situation of an enterprise. Yeah, and we've actually presented the same data like I have presented to you. Yeah, grids. Yeah, and bullet graphs and channel faces. Yeah, so 168 guys have been questioned. Yeah. In order to assess the situation of the company, yeah, and many of them have got management experience, so they knew the meaning of the indicators, they knew what revenue means, they knew what sales means, costs and profit, and the results were very dramatic. So you see, when we are using traditional method, yeah, that means grids or the bullet graphs, yeah. So then the situation is not so good. We are using so-called Kendall's-Tau, yeah, you see Kendall's-Tau, in order to assess the accuracy of valuation. And the Kendall's-Tau has got two extreme values. -1, that means totally wrong. +1 means totally perfect. And 0 means guessing. Yeah, and the Kendall's-Tau for assessing the company based on traditional method was about 0.33, close to guessing. Yeah, that means when you are presented grids or bullet graphs, you usually guess. Yeah, usually guess. This was the result of the survey we did, and look at that one. Yeah, when you are presented Chernow faces, the Kendall's-Tau was close to 1. That means you do a real valuation. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to give you. Yeah, please pay attention when you are doing some presentation in your seminars, how you present the data. It's not important what you tell. Yeah, it's important what is understood. Yeah, and using different methods, yeah, for data presentation, you can achieve better results. Yeah, you are then better understood. Yeah, and this was a small part of my research. Yeah, Kendall's-Tau. I wanted to set up a startup company. Yeah, which provides me such a Chernow face for my car. Yeah, when I'm driving a car, I don't want to see these 24 different indicators. I want to see the Chernow face, which shows me you are on a good way to achieve your lecture on time. And you don't use too much gasoline, yeah, you don't violate rules, and so on, yeah. This depends on the situation, yeah. I'm still searching for students, yeah, gonna set up a startup and maybe create a tool which supports dynamic Chernow faces, yeah. So, some general recommendations from my side, yeah. When you present data, please avoid tables. Please avoid grids. Grids are good for mechanical, for digital data processing, but the grids are not understood by human beings. We cannot process columns of data. Yeah, please avoid grids. Use better other methods. Yeah. So if you are having some grids, yeah, you can also transform these grids into map projection. So you see at that side, yeah, you see here some cities, yeah, and you see the revenues of the cities, yeah. And when you cannot recognize here anything, yeah, and when I transform this data into map projection, yeah, you see that most of revenues is earned on the east or on the west coast, but not in the middle, yeah, and it takes only 3 seconds to find this out. When you look at this grid, yeah, it will take hours to find it out, yeah. But despite this fact, yeah, most data, yeah, when you go to shareholder meetings, yeah, are still presented as a table, yeah, as a table, which is not so good. Maybe if I want that nobody understands me, yeah, then I present tables. Yeah. Maybe this is what is wanted by the managers, so nobody understands them. That's why they present tables, yeah. And so this is a heat map, yeah, which also shows the distribution of the data, yeah. And now my last chart, yeah. So now I've got here again a grid, a small one, yeah, not many data. So in the first column you see different products. It's German names of some movies, yeah. So this is, for example, the Seal, yeah, or Wall Street movie with Michael Moore, the name, not Michael Moore, I've forgotten his name, the Wall Street, yeah, and here you see the revenue, yeah, the revenue, and then you see the ROE, return on investment. Which movie made the best run? In which movie you gonna invest money? Which one? Wall Street. Okay, let's look at this one. Wall Street looks good, yeah. So now I present the same data as a text presentation. The size of the text means the amount of revenue. The bigger, the better, yeah. The amount of revenue. And the color represents the valuation of return on investment. Green is good, red is bad. So indeed, Wall Street was very good, yeah, big size and red, green color, and Bloodmont, yeah, was not so good, yeah, big size but small return on investment, yeah. This is also you can use, yeah, and modern tools, yeah, OLAP tools, they support this text visualization, yeah. They support this text visualization. It's very easy to do this one, yeah. So that's it. That's all from my side, yeah. Thank you very much for your attention, yeah. And now, please feel free to ask questions, yeah. Please feel free to ask questions. So what I actually do, Julia, in my classes, that's the same situation in Coburg. Yes. So I choose a person and I ask usually a question, what is the main lessons learned? And I do ask you. What is, yes, you, what is the main lessons learned you did in that class right now? I did it. Okay, go ahead. Okay, are you going to pay more attention to data presentation? Sure. Okay, that's good. So, and now one of my colleagues. What is the lessons learned? May I ask you? Go ahead. No? Okay. Okay, may I ask you? What is the main lessons learned?
Thank you. It was very impressive and very impactful presentation because we are working with our students and we tend to have a lot of presentations, and I believe it will be very useful for them. And maybe the thing that that was very impressive to me was about to present the data fairly and and use the correct numbers and not to to cheat.
We are not politicians. Thank you very much. This is a very good. I like your remark. Yeah, we are scientists.
It's important, but then if we go back to your second slide, I think. When you can we go back to that? It's important for them to also be able to manipulate using data. It's not really cheating because you provide the correct data, you just provide it in another way, in a different way. And if they work for a bank, I would say, not this one, the next one.
The next one?
Sorry. The one with, yes, precisely.
Yeah.
If you work for a bank, for example, you would choose, and if you want to make your report good for the outside users of this information, you would choose the second option, the right-hand side. Yes, because this is the way you show actually in a visual way that you're doing good. Otherwise, the correct result is on the left side, and everyone knows it. The informed person who takes decisions, of course, will know it. But then the outside users of this information, they would be more impressed. So sometimes it's good to know how to manipulate.
Yes, yeah, it's good to know. Julia, I totally agree with you. It's good to know how to manipulate people or how you can be manipulated for your own protection reasons. Yeah. So that's why when I check the slides, I always check if the ground line is there. Yeah. And then I start to evaluate data. I never start to evaluate data when they are presented that way, because a lot of information is missed. Yeah. So this is, but thank you very much for your remark. We are not politicians, we are scientists. Yeah. And we need to teach our students, yeah, ethic way of data presentation, so nobody is cheated. The data should be presented correct way. I am always frightened when data are presented in the form of a grid, in the form of a table. This is the best way to confuse the audience. This is the best way not to be understood. Yeah. So if you want to achieve this goal, sure, use tables. But if you want to achieve another goal, to be understood, please look for the appropriate ways of data presentation. Yeah? So you can find on the internet, there's a periodic system of data presentation. Yeah? This was also a research project, and you can find different examples how to present data the best. It was just a short example how to do it. Yeah. And I also presented you results of researches which we do in Coburg, yeah, with these channel phases. Yeah, it was a good success, but it's still not developed, still not deployed in as a key performance indicator monitoring. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
If you'd like to show some data for students, definitely more colorful face types, etc. It works. It wakes up them, because some of them may sleep during the lecture. But we had the day before yesterday a PhD student, a very good one, and she presented her resume in a presentation, very colorful, a lot of pictures, etc., which is more for kind of marketing purposes rather than academic. So it's, my point is that visualization of data depends on the audience. So when we are in academia between us, we don't like so much, you know, colors and, you know, it depends very much on the audience. But there are a lot of new stuff, and thank you for presenting to our students so that they could, but they should distinguish between the audience, which audience, how they present the figures.
Yeah, this is absolutely correct. Yeah, so the colors, yeah, also one recommendation from my side, please don't use too many colors. Yeah, don't use too many colors because the colors usually distract you. Yeah, so there are some basic principles of using colors. Yeah, and I couldn't touch it in my lecture, but one of the basic principles: don't use more than 3-4 colors in your presentation. Yeah, because again, biological limitation, 3 seconds. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, Julia. Then we're gonna move to the next topic. Yeah, to the next topic. Next topic gonna be international project management.
I'd like to invite you to spend more time here.
Okay, okay.
Because this way you will be closer to the camera. And
okay. Julia, I got it. Okay. So let's, yeah, I need to go to the camera. Okay. So the cultural issues of project management, yeah, general and lecture. Just a second. So guys, welcome to the second lecture. Yeah, the second lecture deals with the project management. Yeah, and the main question is, first of all, we need to clarify what is actually a project. Yeah, because we've got projects, we've got processes. Yeah. And what is a project? What is actually a process? Yeah, and here you see the classification. Yeah, so in an enterprise, sometimes need to do so-called routine tasks. Yeah, that means you do it all the time. Yeah, it's a regular task which we do in our enterprise. The input is the same, the output is the same. Yeah. And we need just to make sure that we generate every day the same quality. So there is a saying in Germany, so-called Monday car. Yeah, if you bought a car which was assembled on a Monday, then the expectation is very high that this car has got a lot of bugs. Yeah, and when you buy a car which was produced on Friday, then this car has got a very good quality. Yeah. So when this happens, then you have got a very bad process management. You need just to make sure that the quality, the output is every time the same. Yeah. So then we've got so-called special tasks. Yeah. Special tasks are close to regular tasks, but there are some differences and some exceptions. So the input is pretty the same, but the customer has got some specific wishes which need to be fulfilled. Yeah. So, and when we take routine task and special task, yeah, then process management is a discipline, and business management, yeah, which is responsible for the organization of the work for those tasks, yeah. And now what happens, yeah, all those tasks can be automated, yeah. Now we also are facing artificial intelligence, yeah, and the artificial intelligence brings a big move to the automation of processes. So our expectation is, yeah, that in the future everything which can be formalized, yeah, can be done automatically by so-called robotic process automation. Yeah. So, and that's why we shouldn't. When I was student, I would avoid everything, yeah, which gonna push me in the area of process management, because this gonna be done by computers in the future. So, but what is a project? Project actually is something we do for one time. We do it just once. So that means the input is not clear, yeah, and the output is also not clear. So for example, celebrating a birthday of 4-year-old daughter. Yeah, the input is not clear. I don't know which guest gonna come. Yeah, and I don't know what is the result of the birthday party. Yeah, so that means the project. Yeah, the project we do once. Yeah, and the input and the output is not clear. Yeah, the input and the output is not clear, and that means I think it's another slide. Just a second. Just a second. So this is a project, yeah? Okay, now it's a correct slide. And when we move to the project management, yeah, we need to understand there's a so-called magic project triangle. What does it mean? It means that the project always starts with goals requirement. Yeah, at the beginning, we need to understand what are our goals. And then the project is always limited in time and in budget. So when we don't achieve our goals, so then we used to say we are out of time, yeah? Or when we don't achieve the project goals within the time, we say we're out of time or out of money, out of budget, yeah? And there's a very important so-called Brooks law, yeah, which tells when you put more, yeah, more manpower to a late project, then the late project is gonna be later. So where is my slide? No. So does it work? Okay. So no, still not working. Okay. No, that's okay, I don't know why. So, okay, that means we are talking of so-called project management triangle. So that means we need always to take into consideration the goal of the project, or there are many goals, the time and the budget, yeah? And the next important issue about the project is a team, yeah? The project is always done by a team, by a bunch of human beings. Yeah, this is the next important issue. Yeah, and that's why we need also pay attention to the team management, to the project management, and we think that the project management, yeah, or the project, yeah, is gonna be very, very important in education. That's why we started to teach our students in the form of a project. Yeah, in the form of a project. We use project as a teaching format to teach students specific disciplines like team management. Yeah, you cannot teach students team management in a regular lecture. Yeah, because then in a regular lecture they work by themselves. Yeah, you cannot teach team management. Yeah, you cannot teach a project management out of the book. Yeah, you need to do a project management. Yeah, so the team is the very important issue about the project. And now we are coming to the next important thing. The projects need to be done effectively and efficiently. Yeah. So what does it mean effectively and efficiently? Yeah. These are two important terms which very precisely describe the meaning of the project. So when we achieve our goals, yeah, when we achieve our goals, then we are effective, yeah? And that means effectiveness as an expression is oriented on the achieving of the goals, yeah? And we are efficient when we avoid, yeah, wasting our resources. We are efficient when we spend less money and when we use less time than planned, yeah? Let me clarify these two expressions a little bit more in detail. In 1962, superpowers, United States and the Soviets, they competed for the power in the outer space, yeah? And Yuri Gagarin flew around the world, and then Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, yeah? And both nations found out, yeah, that they cannot use a regular pen in the outer space, yeah, because the pen needs the gravity of the Earth. Otherwise, the ink does not touch the ball, and you cannot use the pen. So, and both nations set up two project management teams, yeah, and the goal was, yeah, to create a gadget, yeah, which can be used in the outer space, yeah. The Americans invested 10 millions of euro, and they invented so-called Fisher pen. Yeah, Fisher pen or a space pen. You can buy it actually today for 25 euro. Yeah, there's a gas inside. Yeah, and the gas pushes the ball all the time, and the ink gets in touch with the ball, and so you can use the pen even in the outer space. This is such a Fisher pen. I can use it even when I lie on my back. Yeah, I can use it in that position. Yeah, so the project was effective. Yeah, that means the American team has achieved the goal. The gadget which can be used in the outer space has been invented. The Soviets just have taken a pencil, yeah, and a pencil. And now the question, yeah, both teams were effective because they have achieved the goal, but who was more efficient, Soviets or the Americans? Yeah, Soviets didn't invest nothing. They just took a pencil, and the Americans invested 10 million and invented the fisherman. This is the question, yeah. The goal has been achieved, but efficiency is not so clear, yeah. And this is what we need to understand. Project is always unique. When we start to do a project, we never know what the result gonna be. As a project manager, we delegate a lot of tasks, and we need to accept the result of the task. Yeah, this is very important. Let me show what we do, what I do in my project management class. The students get a general introduction to the project management about the effectiveness, efficiency, yeah, that the projects are done only once and the result is not clear. You don't know what you're gonna receive at the end, yeah. And the students get at the beginning of an exercise many different geometric shapes, yeah. There are 5 or 4 teams, depends on how many students participate in the project, but every team gets the same amount and the same quality of geometric shapes. And the task is to build a house, yeah, with those geometric shapes in which 5 people can fit inside, yeah, and only basic forms can be used. So the results are totally unique. This is one possible result, yeah. One possible result. This is the next possible result. Yeah, this is the next possible result. Yeah, I don't know what is in the middle. Yeah, but you see the same students. Yeah, in the same class. Yeah, with the same theoretical input. Yeah, with the same geometric shapes, they generate total different results. And that's what we need to understand about the project management, yeah. So that when we start the project, we don't really know what the result is gonna be, yeah. And the result of the project is the intellectual performance of the project management of the project team. That's why the team is so important, okay. So, okay, now let's think about our project triangle, yeah? So we've got above our goals, our requirements, yeah? And there's a very important saying which comes from the Roman Empire, divide et impera, yeah? I translated this into German, yeah? And zwei in Gebiete. Was said by Wolfgang Goethe, and then in Bulgarian, Razdelai and Povedavai, yeah. This is a Bulgarian saying that means we need to separate the big project into little pieces, yeah. And now just imagine, this is our project, yeah. Doesn't matter which one. It can be starting the cooperation, it's a project, or building a new wall, something else, yeah. So how we can split this project into small pieces? This is one possibility. So we've got here, for example, 11 different sub-projects. This is one way of splitting, but we can also do it that way. So which one do you like more? Which one do you like more, that one or that one? The second, why? Because it looks nicer, there are not so many interfaces, yeah. But look at this one. We have combined many sub-projects into one bigger sub-project, yeah. So look at this one, the sub-project 4, the sub-project 10, yeah, was moved to the sub-project 1. So that means we merged many different tasks into one bigger sub-project. Yeah, but the interfaces, the interdependencies still there. They are not so exposed. You don't see them because they are hidden in the sub-project 1 or in the sub-project 2. Yeah. So, and the main question is how to split the project in two executable work packages, because a work package is a part of a project which delivers a clear result. So, and in the theory and also in the enterprises, a method which is called work breakdown structure is used. Yeah, maybe you use this already. Yeah, this is work breakdown structure. So we split our project as a hierarchy. Yeah, for example, when we start to build a house, this is our project building. Then we split the whole building into smaller parts, garage and house. Yeah, the garage or the house you're gonna split in smaller sub-projects, carry out shell work, yeah, carry out interior work, and so on and so on. And at the end, carry out shell work. This is a work breakdown structure element. We split into so-called working packages. So, and working package is create foundation, create walls, create ceilings. Yeah, this is actually work package. What is a work package? Work package is an executable piece of project which delivers a result. Yeah, and work packages can be assigned to a team. The main question which we need to ask here, how deep should I go? When do I stop the splitting of projects? Yeah, and here is a very, and you see here a magnificent figure 7. Do you know what 7 means? Do you have any ideas? 7? So, this figure plays a big role in our culture. It's believed that the world was created within 7 days. There are 7 sins. There are 7 days in a week. Yeah. The 7 comes very often in our culture. 7 is the size of a project team. Yeah, we should split the project into work breakdown structure elements, and we should make a stop when our work packages achieve a reasonable work volume of workload. What does it mean, reasonable? Yeah, they should be executed by a team. Yeah, which is not larger than 7 team members. But where does this figure comes? 7. It does not come out of the Bible. It does not come out of the 7 days. There was a agrarian engineer in France. He lived in 18th century. His name was Ringelmann. Yeah, in 18th century, France was an agriculture country, yeah, and by that time, horses and oxes were the only one power which was used to dig up the earth, yeah. And Ringelmann did a lot of experiments. He wanted to find out the best sequence of horses, which increase the pulling power of all horses. He made a lot of experiments, yeah, and what he found out, the first finding was 1 + 1 is less than 2. What does it mean? It means when you measure the pulling power of one horse and the next horse, when you add it, you get the power of 2 horses. But when you put the horses in front of a carriage, the total power, pull power, is less than 2 horses. Why? You can explain it in a mechanical way, because the horses, they do disturb themselves. One pulls to the right side, the other pulls to the left side, and the power in the middle is going to be eliminated. Yeah. So that means when we put more horses in front of a carriage, we are losing pulling power. Yeah. So this is the Ringelmann effect. 1 + 1 is less than 2. When we take this knowledge to our project management, team management, that means 1 team member plus 1 team member is less performance. Because when you start to work twice, you need to communicate, to cooperate, and to coordinate. Yeah, you are losing your time, you are losing your performance. So this is called Ringelmann effect. So the next finding of Mr. Ringelmann was the number 7. So he noticed when you put the 8th horse in front of the carriage, then the total pulling power of 7 horses is more than the pulling power of 8 horses. And that's how he found out in an empirical way, don't put more than 7 horses. Yeah, 7, again, a magnificent figure, somehow it comes everywhere. So, and this figure 7 was also approved by many researchers, yeah, in modern time, yeah. So you should not set up teams which larger than 7 team members. So one example again from the field, the American SEALs, do you know these tough guys, yeah? They always operate in a team size of 6 members on the ground. Who is the 7th one? This is the operator in the bases, yeah? 7 teams, 6. There's a movie on Prime, yeah, 6, yeah, it's called, yeah. This is the size of 6 SEALs who operate on the ground. The 7th one is the office. Okay, this is a Ringelmann effect, yeah. That means we do not, we should split down our work as a work breakdown in order to achieve work packages which can be executed by a team, yeah, by a team size of maximum 7 team members. So, when speaking of teams, yeah, speaking of teams means that we somehow have a very positive understanding of teams. So we think that when we are working in a team, yeah, all problems gonna be solved. That's not true. There are some myths of a team. The first one was Ringelmann effect. Yeah, Ringelmann effect was also proven in when human beings work. Yeah, so in Japan, one survey was conducted. Yeah, people, the men had to pull a rope. Yeah, and the pulling power was always measured. Yeah, so and a guy had to pull a rope, yeah, and the pulling power was measured. Then his eyes were covered, and the research leader asked him, please pull the rope, and he pulled it. The additional information was, you are pulling alone, and when the information comes, you are pulling in a team, he reduced his pulling power. This was proven in Japan. Huh? So that means don't set up teams which are larger than 7 team members, because there's also social loafing. So you protect, you hide yourself behind the others, you don't do anything, and so on. So the next thing is groups are more creative. Yeah, we usually think when we do brainstorming in a group, yeah, then we generate more ideas. Yeah, but that's also not true. Yeah, also not true when you do brainstorming alone, and in a team you don't generate more ideas. Yeah. So the next myth is, together we know more. The problem about this myth is that we think that when we are together we know more. But the problem is, when we are together, we don't share specific knowledge. We share only knowledge which is common. We don't share specific knowledge. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
If you are more than one, you divide the scores accordingly. So this policy discourages the obvious
Absolutely.
things. So please stop that.
Okay, Julia, now I've got a new task. Okay, so that means for another question, when you meet someone at a bus station, what do you talk with the foreign person primarily when you want to make a small talk? The weather, why? The weather, politics, because the weather is a common knowledge. Yeah? So that's why we share specific knowledge, we share common knowledge, but not specific. That's why when we are in a team, we don't know more. This was also proven in a research in the United States. Yeah? There was a job applicant for a job, and he has got 3 characteristics. Yeah? 2 characteristics were applicable to the job, and 1 characteristic was not applicable. No, 4 characteristics. 3 were applicable to the job, and 1 was not applicable. That means 3 is larger than 1. Yeah, that means he gonna get this job. Yeah, and this interview was done by 3 job interviewer, and everyone knew about 1 positive characteristic, but everybody knew about 1 negative characteristic. And guess what was discussed when the applicant presented himself? The common knowledge which unites us, the negative characteristic. And so he didn't get the job. Yeah. So this is true that we share only common knowledge, but not specific knowledge. And the next one, together we're stronger, it's also a myth. Yeah. Is the probability very high of so-called group thinking? Yeah, group thinking. Yeah, because when we are in a group, yeah, we try to avoid fightings. We want to have comfortable situation. Yeah. And that's why sometimes we suppress our wishes in order to fit to the group, to the mainstream meaning, and that leads to group thinking. Okay, so that means now we learned that the project management is not the best way of organizing work. Yeah, because everybody, we need a team. Yeah, because of this concentration. Yeah, everybody is doing what he can do the best. But when we put 7 different people together, we need to communicate, to cooperate, and to coordinate. And let me explain these 3 things about communication, cooperation, coordination. First of all, communication. Yeah. So it's a very problematic way, especially when human beings are communicating. Yeah. So first of all, the idea is born in the brain. Then we code the idea into our language. Yeah. Then we use a medium to transport this message. Then the message is uncoded, yeah, and is understood. So now I'm speaking English. It's not my native language. So I've got some ideas. I do convert them into English language. The probability is very high that I do make some mistakes. Now I'm using medium air. I transport my message via air. We can use paper. We can use other media. Yeah, and then the message arrives you. Yeah, for example, if I don't use micro, so you don't get all the messages I give to you. So then you get only the half of the messages, and you uncode the message, and again, probability is very high. So that means when we use communication between human beings, yeah, the probability is very high that we make mistakes. Yeah, and the next thing about communication is called constructivism. Yeah, constructivism. What does it mean? Everybody has got its own reality. So sometimes when I say it's hot outside, yeah, it's a one objective information. For me, it's hot. For you, it's cold. So that everyone has got its own reality, and this reality is mentally programmed, yeah? And look at this one. Two friends, fish and frog, used to live in the same area. Then the frog left the lake, yeah, and come couple of months later to see his friend the fish, yeah. And the frog explained to the fish, I saw many birds outside. They flew in the air. And look at this one, how the fish imagines those birds. Constructivism. The fish imagines those birds as a flying fish, but not as a bird. That's why it's very important, not what you say, is important what is understood. Then the frog tells to the fish, yeah, I saw a cow. Yeah, and that's what the fish understands, a cow as a fish. And then the frog tells to him, I saw some human beings who are riding the cows and the horses. That's what the fish understood. This is a book I read my daughter, yeah, and now I'm using this book to teach my students constructivism, that the reality is always unique. Is always unique. Is very difficult, yeah, to teach the students. I say one thing and many different things are understood. Yeah, and that's what I see in my examinations when the results do not fit to my questions. Yeah. Constructivism, yeah, this is one problem. The next problem is when you are doing international projects, then culture plays a big role for our communication. And there are many different culture models, yeah, which are used to explain culture differences, yeah. And what is actually culture? Culture is mental programming of human beings. Somehow we are programmed mentally by our childhood, by our kindergarten, by our school, by our professors. And this is mental programming which strongly influences our activity. Yeah? And the whole, yeah, it's one scientist who analyzed cultures, yeah, and he said, okay, there are two different culture circles, yeah. One is so-called contextual culture circle. That means when you communicate, the context plays a big role, yeah. And the other circle is, and there's another culture type, non-contextual. That means context does not play any role. Yeah. And the other one is the monochronic and polychronic. I will come to this later. So let me explain this to you. Yeah. So that means when you have got international projects, yeah, you always need to think about these two culture circles, contextual and non-contextual. So if one says, for example, yeah, we'll meet on 8th of December, or 8th, 10, 12, yeah. So this is a message, yeah, and how the message is understood by Europeans. By Europeans means 8th of October 2012, yeah. By Americans means 10th of August 2012, yeah. And by Iranians, yeah, because they read data from right to left, yeah, 12th of October 2008. So look at this, the same message is understood in 3 different ways. So when you have got international projects, yeah, you have to pay attention to this, that you are understood very correctly, yeah. It's actually quite difficult, yeah. And the next one doesn't understand this at all. So the next one, example. So when you say in Germany, we have got a problem. In Germany, is actually everything is a problem. Yeah. So when the pen falls down, I have got a problem. I need to lift up my pen. Yeah. So, and in Americans, when you say I have got a problem, we know this. Yeah, from Space Shuttle Agency Houston. I have got a problem. That means the space shuttle gonna fall down on the Earth, yeah? And when German says an American project, I've got a problem, then the boss is frightened, yeah? So, and in Russian language, there is no problems at all, yeah? And the Germans, that's not a problem, we've got many problems, we're gonna solve them. So this is how we understand, yeah? And the culture plays a big role, yeah? And now in our virtual world, yeah, we are working mostly in international teams because it's very easy to hook on developers from China, from India to a European project. In the past, they need to travel, they need to stay in a hotel, it was quite expensive. Then the project manager had to decide it. But now it happens very, very fast. Yeah, I'm in one project of the company SAP, yeah, and you are dealing with different patients, yeah, and sometimes after some workshops, I am not really sure if I was understood or not. Everybody speaks English, but with different flavors and so on and so on and so on. Okay, the next one is coordination. So now we have clarified communication. Please pay attention that communication between human beings is the worst thing which can happen in a project. Yeah, constructivism and cultural programming. Yeah, they are big obstacles. Yeah, especially in international project. Then we are coming to coordination. Yeah, what is a coordination? We need to manage some interdependencies in the project. Yeah. And this is quite difficult because we need to manage these interdependencies over the timeline. Yeah. So, and look at this one. Yeah. Everybody wants to do something. What happens here? Yeah? When, where, and so on and so on. So, and which culture model helps us to clarify the issues about interdependencies? The culture model according to Lewis, yeah, or Lewis, yeah, it was American scientist, yeah. He said that there are 3 different cultures, yeah, which can be classified. So-called linear active, yeah. To this culture, Germany and Switzerland belong, yeah. So the linear active team members, they do everything step by step, yeah. Timeline is very important, step by step. Then we've got so-called multi-active. They don't know the line. They do it in a chaotic way, and something, and despite this fact, it works out. Yeah, and some reactive. Yeah, they always wait on the reaction of the other, and then they react on this. So how can it influence our project? So the monochronic, yeah, again the time, yeah, Edward Hall also said that monochronic time management, that means we do step by step, yeah. That means we start to do something, we plan, then we keep to the plan, yeah. We don't, yeah, skip the plan, yeah. Then we achieve our target, yeah. Australia, Great Britain, United States, yeah, are so-called monochronic time managers, and then we have got polychronic time managers. So we start, yeah, and we need to achieve the result, but we don't have a plan, we improvise, yeah. This is the next way. And when these 2 different groups come to a project, yeah, it's gonna be dangerous. The one want to have a plan, they want to stick to the plan. The other group does not get anything. Yeah? They just want to improvise. Yeah? And this can be quite dangerous. So that means coordination. Okay, so when you want to coordinate activities in a project, especially in an international project, you need to place unique calendar. Yeah. For example, if someone tells, okay, we're gonna meet on 24th of July, yeah, so perfect, we can do this, yeah. Chinese, sorry, we're on holidays, yeah, and Arab have another holidays, yeah, and Russians are also holidays. This happened to me personally. I had an MBA program in Iran. And the weekend in Iran starts on Friday and ends on Saturday. They start to work on Sunday. And they called me on Sunday when I was relaxing. And I tried to reach them on Friday, but nobody answered my calls. Yeah. And this happens very, very fast, especially when you have got holidays. Yeah. So the first thing when you start international project, yeah, which calendar is valid for us? It's even in Germany problematic. So in Germany, Bavaria has got most holidays. Berlin has got less holidays. So, and what happened to me, I have had to switch off my radiators, and one company which was in charge of it came from the country Hesse. And they came to me on Wednesday when in Bavaria was a holiday. And they ringed at my door at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was sleeping. And I asked them why. They said they want to switch off the radiators. It's a holiday, but not in our state. Even in Germany, it's a problem. And national projects are quite difficult. Okay, coordination, that means time. So it's 16 o'clock. What does it mean in Germany? It's fine. Yeah, we can work until 20. What it means in the United States? Yeah, in the United States, usually work until 18. So it's not popular to set up meetings after 18 o'clock. Yeah. In Norway, I had a project in Norway at Statoil. Yeah, when you are still at 16 o'clock in the office, after 16 o'clock, the manager may come to you and ask you, do you have any social problems with your family? Why are you here? It's 16 o'clock. It's really happened to me. Usually when you are a consultant, you arrive on Monday, yeah, and you leave on Friday. And you arrive on Monday at 12 o'clock and you leave on Friday at 12 o'clock. And somehow you need to catch up 8 hours, 4 hours from Monday and 4 hours from Friday. So you stay until 20 o'clock in the office, yeah. And in Norway, we were kicked out at 16 o'clock out of the office. So we couldn't finish our job in time because calculation was we were stay until 20. We didn't know that. Now I know this. When I calculate timeline for the project in Norway, I need to extend it by a couple of weeks because of 16 hours. Yeah. Okay. So cooperation. When you do a project, you need to cooperate together. It's very important. So how we can force people to cooperate? We can motivate them, or we can force them. Chinese wall in Egypt pyramid was not built by motivation. It was built by suppression. The people were forced to build. Today, we cannot force people, yeah? We try to motivate them. Suppression does not play a big role in our societies anymore. But how to motivate people? Look at the motivation. There is a big problem. Incentive, super response tendency. So there is an incentive and there is a intention. Yeah. What is intention? Yeah. Intention is something what I want to achieve. So the Ministry of Culture has got an intention that professors generate more scientific papers. It's a good intention. The same intention we've got also in Germany. And how to achieve this intention? We need incentives. So people, yeah, and incentives, they do strongly influence our behavior. 90% of our behavior can be explained by incentives. Yeah, 90% by sickness, by mental disability, and so on and so on. Yeah? And very important, people, they do not respond to intentions, they do respond to incentives. Couple of examples. in Vietnam. After the World War II, France was colonial power in Vietnam, and in the city of Hanoi, many rats were discovered. Yes? There was a rat plague. Yeah? And the government of Hanoi the intention was to kill the rats, yeah, to get rid of this rat plague. The incentive was, we're gonna pay $10 for every dead rat. The government thought the people gonna catch the rats, kill them, and bring them to the government. What do you think? Was this incentive conclusive with intention? The people didn't catch the rats. The people started to grow the rats, to kill them, and to sell them to the government. Yeah. That's the problem. The incentive does not always lead to the intention. So that means your Ministry of Culture maybe set up wrong incentives. Yeah, we need to discuss the intention is very good. Yeah, but maybe incentives are not so good. And indeed, it's very, very difficult to set up good incentives in order to achieve intentions. It's very difficult. So, and now I am coming to the culture model of Hofstede. Hofstede was a Dutch scientist who developed for IBM a culture model in 70s. In 70s, IBM was also a very international company. So, and they had teams from different countries. And the IBM was the first enterprise which faced these cultural differences. Yeah? And the Hofstede measured all the employees. Yeah? This is one of the most popular models, Hofstede. Yeah? So he said that we human beings are mentally programmed by 5 dimensions. And the first dimension is individualism. Yeah, so that means when we primarily perceive our individual goals, or we pay attention to the goals of the society. Then he said the power distance. In some cultures, we accept that the power is distributed not equally. We accept that there is a boss who has got a lot of power, and in some countries we have got a manager who has got more, who has got just moderation power. Then we have got so-called long-term orientation. In some countries we make decisions which affect ourselves or which don't affect ourselves, maybe our grandkids. In some countries we are very short determined. Yeah? Then we've got masculinity. That means society which is very masculine, yeah, is very competitive, yeah, and society which not so masculine is very harmonic. And the last one is uncertainty avoidance, yeah, how we act when something is not so clear. We start a project under condition or we postpone it, yeah. And the good about this culture model, yeah, the Hofstede has measured all countries. So this is the result of the measurement. So look at the difference between Bulgaria and Germany. So power distance. That means in Germany the power distance is very low. We don't accept an equal distribution of power. Our rector is a manager. Our professors are independent. The manager, the rector cannot tell anything to the professor. Look, in Bulgaria, you accept it. So there is a director, yeah, who can give commands, and you follow commands. Yeah. The next one, individualism. Yeah. Bulgaria is a harmonic, collective society. The goals of collective are more value than goals of individual person. That's what Hofstede model tells me. Germany is a individualistic society. Yeah. So, for example, when I was a student, there was a competition for books. Yeah. And when I saw there were only 5 books for specific subject. So what we did, we have hidden the books. So the other one does not find it, so I can get the book on the next day. Individualistic, aggressive. My goals are more important than the other ones. Yeah. So masculinity. Germany is a very competitive society. We want to fight. Bulgaria is a very harmonic society. We tend to be in a harmonic situation. That's what I felt today in your office. Yeah, we sat together and we had the dinner. We would never fight. It's German. Yeah. So, and unfortunately avoidance. Yeah. So in Germany we don't like uncertainty. Yeah. But you don't like it. You don't like it more. So that means you may tendency to zero error tolerance. So you don't tolerate mistakes according to this model. So that means it can be dangerous when you start a project. You always postpone it if there is no signed documents. Yeah. So and long-term orientation. So Bulgaria is more short-term oriented. Germany is long-term. How it can influence our project. So individualism index high. That means personal achievements are more than society achievements. Yeah. So in this case, motivation of members is very important. Yeah. And now I just want to make a citation of Adam Smith. Self-interest create common interest. Yeah. This is what we need to achieve. So the motivation of the members takes place, and you can motivate members when you say the society it's beneficial for a society. Yeah. So that means in cultures where the cooperation, the masculinity index is very high. Yeah. So the extrinsic motivation plays a big role. Yeah. In countries where masculinity index is very low, intrinsic motivation plays a big role. So uncertainty avoidance. What does it mean? Yeah. If the uncertainty avoidance is very high, the index, so then you tend to be zero error tolerance. And zero error tolerance is quite problematic because under this circumstance, you never can set up a learning society. So I face this in several projects. So there are some uncertainties, and you need to eliminate them by signing some documents. Yeah. That can lead to the fact that you always postpone the project. And when the avoidance is very low, you can try the try and error procedure is very common. Yeah. So culture and coordination. When the power index is very high, you try to coordinate your activities via hierarchy. Yeah. Command is very important method of organizing. Yeah. When the power index is very low, you try to create networks. It means moderation, motivation plays a big role. Yeah. And the last one, culture and collectivism. Yeah. Power distance. Yeah. When the power distance is very high, yeah, and decisions have to be prepared by the boss, and the command have to be given to the employees. Yeah. And when you have a short-term orientation, the errors are not tolerated. Yeah, so you are just kind of tend to have zero tolerance. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually the last slide of my lecture. Yeah, and thank you very much. Yeah, for being so tough. Yeah. It's paid until the end. Do you have any questions? Any ideas which we should discuss?
Well,
this one.
Go back to the Bulgaria and
Okay.
Germany.
Actually, this is not me. Hofstede. There is an institute of Hofstede. This is was not me. You can go to the site of Hofstede model. Hofstede is a Dutch scientist, yeah, and this is what he measured. It's not when I used only this graphic to understand the differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one is what?
Power is
Power
is
is.
the means.
You know why we have 35, we have double?
I don't know.
I will tell you.
How
The
people?
second one
It's the individualism.
individualism.
Masculinity.
And the third one,
Masculinity. And this one is uncertainty avoidance.
no, the first three.
The third thing.
The reason is that normally, compared to history,
Yeah,
it's not
okay.
the reason.
Yeah, maybe it's a
We
historical.
don't want to take it.
Okay.
That's why
You
the
make the
priority
post.
is much more comfortable. The second one, individualism. It is I can hide myself between the others. I don't do all these kind of things.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
so and the third one is the lack of interest in this.
Yeah.
You
That
find
means the
yourself
Hofstede is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's right. Okay.
It's fully right.
Just imagine international project. Yeah. A German and Bulgarian work together. The Bulgarian waits for the command because he wants the both take responsibility. The Germans want to have an order. How you can manage this? In the past, it does not play a big role because international projects were not so often. But now they take place every week because it's very easy to invite you to work on international projects from Germany.
And the last one, not before the last one,
This one is masculinity. It's a very competitive society. The last one, long-term orientation. Yeah.
so we live in a crossroad here, historically. So if you
Roman
are
Empire,
not
Ottoman
if
Empire.
you are not mentally linked to justice
Yeah.
rather than fighting, you'll never survive.
That's
So that's very remarkable.
That's perfect. So when I do this lecture, yeah, I do it in many different countries, and I always compare Germany because of them, yeah, and I compare the other countries. And until now, everybody agreed with this classification. They said that's correct. And just imagine you've got someone from Iran, someone from Spain, someone from Finland. There are huge cultural differences. And this memorized culture is a mental programming for us. We are mentally programmed. That's why we act in a different way.
But when you live abroad, we totally change.
Sure, you accept, yeah, you learn that. Usually, yeah,
It's a common thing to do different aspects.
it's very,
I'm not that
it's very interesting. Why? Sure, when we are citizens of European communities, somehow we adjust ourselves to other cultures. Now, when I meet in Bulgaria, I will maybe also try to give the responsibility to Boris, yeah, to hide myself. It's nice to be different.
in diversity.
Yeah, it's diversity, what which makes us in Europe very strong. It's the diversity. That's what we have learned about the project management. Yeah, the project teams should have their own genius. It's not what I want to say. The project teams have to be homogeneous. They have to be homogeneous. But the project manager should know about those opportunities and manage them. Then, in my eyes, the best project manager, whichever name, was Oppenheimer. You know him, the guy who managed the Manhattan Project, I would say. He managed different scientists from Neumann, the theoretician from Hungary, and the other. They were totally idealistic guys. And he managed them. The success was there. They were totally idealistic. But the Oppenheimer was able to manage this. My eyes are the best. So thank you very much. any questions? So the students somehow
They disappeared, but as we see, we will be inviting you more often because you're useful not only for the students but also for our lecturers, for everyone. It was very interesting, both lectures. They were different, but they contributed to what students need to know, what all of us need to know, and that's why we are very thankful.
How did I come to project management? I come for IT. We do a lot of projects, and we found out that the classical project management, does not fit to IT project. That's why project was on, agile project. So that's how I.
But they are not with the definition about the project.
Why?
In one area, budget, the budget is never.
And the budget.
Particularly to construct something.
Yeah.
Ask our mayors and so on. There is no fixed budget.
It should be fixed. That's how it's told in the books. But the budget is always. So that's
Thank you so much, and for your patience as well, and have a nice day, everyone. Thank you.